It's still here. Worse luck, never mind. Broadcast students having their day. I should run over like Tony Barber. Does anybody remember that? Everybody's too young. Bid's here. Bid remembers it. We're doing it in that camera, they've told me. Thank you, Jess. And that's at letter 3, no good. Thank you, Pre, that's good. I've got my coffee, we're all set to go. First letter tonight. It's a myth of testosterone and culture that a man making his mark, no good. No good, because we all need people. And that's the crux of the letter tonight. First letter tonight. Second letter tonight, this is a juicy one. They want to know where they've gone wrong. My 22-year-old daughter is recently pregnant and doesn't know who the father is. And at the same time, my 18-year-old came out in the same week. They reckon they've gone wrong? I don't know. I've been a lazy, one-eyed political supporter all my life. That accounts for probably 60% of the Australian population. We'll see what the panel have got to say. Don't go away. I'm happy we've got our coffee, but we've still got this set. My choice to have those up there. The kids don't like it. Never mind. See you in a minute. Don't go away. Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. Good evening, everyone. Lovely to have your company. Yes, we're here for another week with the set around us and the students filming. Are we allowed to say what it... No, we're not allowed to say it. Okay. But it's nice to be here. These little decorations are my twist, not the crew's twist. It's mine. Hello, Jono. Welcome back.
Hello. Great to be back.
Second week in a row, sir.
Oh, I know. On the hustings, pounding the pavement.
How's
but
it going?
I find time to spend with you, Australia.
How's it going?
It's going very well. Going very well.
There's a big wave.
There is indeed.
A
getting
big
bigger by the
wave.
week. Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah, and big tip, I expect the WA Premier to be removed very shortly after the federal election.
Really?
Yeah, he will not.
Something to watch
Premier
for.
will not make it to the end of July.
Do you like Colin Barnett, Suzie?
Well, I was in a meeting with him recently and I thought he was actually very good.
He's very calm, he's very collected.
And he listened and I thought he was outstanding for the meeting I was in.
And I do look at the array of offering as well, and he's probably the best one
I think he was very
positioned
good. Really do.
well, but anyway. Hello, Lou.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
I want you to sing on this show for us one night.
Oh,
So
really?
do I.
Oh. Well, that
What a
would be
waste of
great.
talent sitting here telling us what you think. Who
Oh.
cares about that?
Can I tell you though?
what you think?
I've got a regular gig every week.
Where?
At the Boheme in Perth, in the city.
Where is the Boheme in Perth
Right
for
in
our
the
interstate
centre,
viewers as
on
well?
the corner of William and Murray Street, right in the heart
Fantastic.
of the city, Perth City. Great gig.
When? What night?
5 till 9 on Thursday nights.
5 till
Solo
9 on
thing.
Thursday nights.
I'm mixing it up a bit. Yeah, it's a really cool gig. I've just started
One
it.
half of the Nissan Cedric's
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
at?
Cedric.
Yes, that's
What's it
right.
called? The Boheme?
The Boheme.
Boheme. Where are
Look
you
it
singing
up.
for us,
It's
Bid?
great.
Well, look, I've been sitting home all week watching my suits go out of date. That's about how exciting my life is.
Wow.
Just waiting for this show. This is the highlight of my week.
They'll come back around.
to Mobile.
won't they? They'll come back around.
We must share a wardrobe.
I'm too old. They won't come back.
No, you're
they're
not.
Coming, they're not coming back. Not unless Charlie Chaplin comes back.
Oh, it could
Yeah,
be hip
could
again. Seen the letters for tonight, crew?
Yes.
Yeah, and?
Good.
Good.
Good letters.
Good.
Good letters.
They're sweet and sour.
Especially group hug.
No one does it on their own. Not a single solitary soul. It's a myth of testosterone and a culture of man making his mark that has perpetuated this crazy notion that goes completely against our evolution. We all need people. I'm writing because my twin boys, who are both in private school, have just been lectured by their principal that they must break away from one another and make it on their own. The boys are bright and help one another study, and they constantly top both academic awards and sporting awards in their year. They are each other's mentors, and they are very loving and close brothers with the best sense of humour, always making each other laugh. I'm very aware that the school doesn't appreciate family monopoly of awards because then the focus is on a family and not the school. Yet my boys have found a success model that is real and can be lifelong, just like my husband and his brother, who aren't twins. If every child was taught from an early age that no one makes it on their own, we just may have a far better society. Do the panellists have personal experience of this truth? It comes to us from Charlotte of Caulfield in Victoria. Louise, I'm going to you first on that one.
Good Lord.
Were you private school educated or public school educated?
Public school.
Me too.
Yeah, and I was close with my brothers, but I've got brothers and not a sister. So I actually think that if I had a sister, then, you know, I'd have more of that really close companionship, that bond thing. Like I always wished that I had a sister. No, okay. I'm getting a big
Susie's got
from
nothing but
Suzie
sisters.
over there.
I'm close, but not.
Really? Oh, okay.
But not twin close.
I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what the problem is if this is working for these young guys, these young
Did you
men
make it
that
on
are-
your own, or did you have a lot of support from people around you? That's
I
the big
had
question.
loads of support from people around me,
Loads of
family
support.
and friends and all of that sort of thing, but not as close as that. So I really have sort of made it on my own as such. Do you know what I mean?
Good girl.
But
You still need
you've always
support and
need support.
encouragement.
Yeah, definitely. You need people around you.
Bid,
Yeah.
we evolved in a community.
Absolutely.
And we've
Look,
lost a little bit of it, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Two biggest changes in my life. We no longer live in a community, we live in an economy. And businesses used to be for customers, now they're for shareholders. But anyway, Charlotte, my life
great.
is absolutely dotted with the positive influence of mentors and advisors. So in my career and my personal life, we need and respond to the powerful influences of people around us. That said, what a terrible lesson it would be to teach your boys that the achievements that do result from their efforts, no matter who's helped them, aren't their own, aren't uniquely theirs. Here's an analogy that works for me. Michelle Payne won the Melbourne Cup, okay? She couldn't have done it without riding Prince of Penzance. Okay, but believe me, Michelle Payne won the Melbourne Cup.
Jono.
Yes, look, what an ignorant, I think, opinion to have.
She might be one of your constituents. Is she? No, she's in
I'm
Caulfield,
not,
Victoria.
no, Charlotte, I'm totally on your side, and I think the principal is being ignorant.
Oh, the principal.
I think the principal is being ignorant. I mean, the boys are successful.
So do I.
They are academic. They are achieving academically.
It works.
There is no problem whatsoever here. Why create a problem when there is no problem? This is an ignorant principal who really has no right, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, no right to tell you how you should or should not raise your boys when they are achieving academic results like they are. Congratulations to you, and stand up for the principal.
Suzie, they're number one. Why would you mix with the
Charlotte.
success model?
I'm the only person on this panel
Who has twins?
that has twins.
Heard that one.
I have twins. I have a 20-year-old, 18-and-a-half-year-old twins, and a 14-year-old. And I can tell you,
18-and-a-half-year-old twin boys?
a boy and a girl. And
Boy and a girl.
I have a boy and then boy, girl, and they're 17 months apart, the three of them. So, you know, a bit like triplets, but not as hard. The older, essentially they've all been successful. They've been swimming captains, they've won academic scholarships, one's vice captain of a private school, one was head girl of a private school. However,
there's always a however.
they love each other, they fight with each other, they have disdain with each other, they're supportive of each other, and I know
Normal.
that they will be there for each other if anything ever happened to me, God forbid. But anyway, not about that. I really think that I want them to be individuals and I want them to develop their own personalities. And what I have tried as a parent to do is to develop resilience. And you can only
That's what you
get
need to teach your
resilience from failing and sometimes having to do something alone. I want them to tread their own path, but in parallel with each other. Now, if that means in the future they do something together, fantastic. But I don't want them to feel that every time they succeed, it's because I can't succeed by myself because I need my twin there. And all I can say to you is that I think that the principal is trying to say, you two are amazing, let's try something on your own because you two can succeed with and without each other. And my only question to you is, I think that you had no support from your family or you're an only child. So
When we come back, Susie's going to have a hell of a lot more to say because it's about where you've gone wrong with your kids.
No,
If
I
this
don't
letter
think it's
writer
gone.
is actually going wrong with their kids or not. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. I know, we've gone over time.
Sorry, but I just can't.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And for every letter writer, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of our gorgeous little Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is what, Suzie?
Queen of the Desert.
And Jono knows who it's
Starring Nicole Kidman.
There you go. Boom, boom. Who's seen it? Who's seen it?
I don't think anybody has. It's a wonderful film.
No.
Traditional in Nicole Kidman's lightest filmography.
That's
A flop.
enough. That's enough.
No, but thank you, Natalie.
Dear Mitch and panellists, I thought to write and ask you where you thought my husband and I went wrong in bringing up our kids. Oh, gosh. You see, my 22-year-old daughter is recently pregnant and doesn't know who the father is. And my 18-year-old son came out in the same week and declared to all of us that he's gay. It's a lot to take in, but rather than focus on what we did wrong, the bigger issue is now how to quickly mend our family, because my husband feels broken, but worse, he won't talk to either of the kids. It doesn't help. Tensions are high. Both kids moved out in the previous 3 weeks, yet it's the time where I feel they will need us the most, especially my daughter, who I'm constantly calling every 2 hours. My view is that it's her own decision if she goes through with it, but I feel she's too young. My husband is sad that the house is instantly empty, but he's still seething, and he simply won't acknowledge his son's existence. So please, panellists, how do I heal this family of mine? Thank you. Gaynor of Dinella in WA. Jono doesn't have a problem with the gay son, but is obviously making a problem. 22-year-old daughter, starting to be commonplace, isn't it?
Yeah, Gaynor, indeed, shame. Shame on your husband for having such a narrow-minded view sense. Look, you know, you love who you love, and he should love his son regardless of who he loves. And the daughter, well, perhaps she doesn't know who the father is. I mean, I don't have an issue if people want to go out and have fun when they're young, no issue whatsoever. But perhaps it is self-confidence that your daughter is struggling with.
Yes.
And with a father that has such a narrow, closed-mind view, when something like this happens, no wonder I would be very surprised if it's not self-confidence issues. And I personally think you should kick your husband to the curb. They are his children. He should love his children regardless. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't speak to his daughter or speak to his son, kick him to the curb. He's rubbish.
Wow, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Suzie.
No, wow.
Mr. Mayor.
What a pickle, Gaynor. What a pickle.
It's not a pickle. They're making too much
What a
of it.
pickle.
The son's gay.
No,
Big deal.
no, hold
Get
on a
used to it nowadays.
What a pickle, Gaynor. I'm just ignoring him. What a pickle, Gaynor. The reality is your husband is a dick. And I agree with you. The fact is,
Okay.
no parent makes a child gay, and no parent makes a girl fall pregnant. Shit happens. Things
Shit
happen.
happens.
And good girls regularly have accidental pregnancies. What's the saddest
his problem?
What's the saddest thing about your situation, Gaynor, is that your children have been so horrified by you and
They've
your
run.
husband, they've got left home. To
They've
me,
run.
that is the most devastating thing. What you need to do is make sure that you keep in contact with your children in spite of your husband's ignorance and stubbornness.
God, the
and
sons
seriously,
come
your
out,
husband-
they should be
I think-
celebrating and
I actually
helping
wrote
him.
here, your children are telling you their truths, and you should be celebrating that they have told you. And to
chased
treat them
them out.
like this is so horrifying.
Yeah, that's where you've gone wrong. You've got that
Yeah.
sort of mentality. You've chased your kids away from home. Lou, sorry, but
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you guys. Like, it's just appalling, that sort of pushing the kids out. Well, not pushing them out. I mean, well, they've run, as you've said.
run.
Just had terrible-
It doesn't
And
matter
it's
if
just-
they make mistakes. You're their parents.
I
You
find
love
it a
them
little bit
unconditionally.
troubling. I do find it a little bit troubling, though, that at 22, the daughter doesn't know, you know, who the father is.
Self-esteem
And
issue.
that's-
I'm with Jono.
That's fantastic, John, like what you said about that. That's a really good point about her self-esteem.
And I wonder where they came from. Dad?
Yeah.
Go.
It's him.
Bid?
Oh, look, I agree with what everybody said, but you talk about mending your family like it's some sort of jigsaw puzzle that you've tipped out of the box and all you need to do is put the pieces back together. Well, the pieces have changed. And your kids are showing you the way and you're ignoring it. Your son didn't choose to be gay. Tell your husband to choose to be gay for a month and see how it works out for him. It's just a nonsense. Pay your kids the respect they're due, and yeah, maybe give your husband a swift kick.
God, I'd be getting rid of the husband and bringing the kids back.
But also saying, what did we do wrong in bringing up our kids? It's not about you. It's actually about them. Why don't you support them as you are supposed to as a
He just
parent?
won't talk to either of the kids.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Just appalling.
How old is your husband?
Yeah.
What era did he grow up in?
Exactly.
You know, coping skills zero when it comes
Well,
to your kids?
he must be only really in his 40s, or he's got a 22, so 40s, 50s, you'd assume.
You know, he's got a
that's our
strange
age.
group of mates then who do, you know, get with the program, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's as long as they're not hurting anybody, you're allowed to do anything you like on this planet. Simple as that. When we come back, we're talking about what we should be voting for, not who, what we should be voting for. Don't go away, we'll see what the panellists have got to say. What should we be voting for? What issues should we be considering?
If you've got a sticky sitch and you need to have a bitch, then send it in to Mitch. He'll sort you out, sweet and sour.
Time for sweet and sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for sweet and sour. Coffee there? Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. We like our coffees here at Sweet and Sour. Keeps us going. Letter 3, what do we want? Hi, my 18-year-old son asked me what he should be considering when deciding who to vote for in elections. It's something that all of us should have established through our belief system from the start. I shot from the hip when he asked me, never having done the exercise properly myself, and simply voting through life for a party or a personality with which or whom I felt the most comfortable. I said as much to him and then realised the enormous inadequacy of the view when I saw his facial reaction. I live in what I consider to be one of the best democracies on the planet, yet I have been a lazy, one-eyed political supporter all my life, and that needs to change. So the very real question for all the panellists is, what qualities, issues and understandings should each of us be searching when we're considering for whom to vote? I'll be handballing your answers to my son, Jeremy of Beaumont in South Australia, and we're going to bid first.
Look, Winston Churchill said democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others. And I agree with him. So here's what I cling to. In politics, there are leaders who are weather vanes and there are leaders who are signposts. Weather vanes actively reflect the zeitgeist, they're hot button issues, they're great for change.
Populists?
They're populist and they're popular, they get things done, but you can't count on them in a storm. Then there are signposts. Signposts say, here's what I represent, I've thought it through, I stand for this, walk with me, I'm not going to change because this is a new modern world or it's not politically correct or whatever, follow me along this road. I prefer signposts.
You know what they're
you know
about.
what they stand for. I vote on character and ethics. Policies change, issues change, priorities change, morals don't.
Morals don't. It's true. Lou?
Do signposts always follow through with what they're saying?
They can't.
Okay.
They can't because they're not a majority. That's just their signpost. So
Right.
if their party
At least
says,
you know what they're aiming for.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
I can relate to Jeremy because, you know, I feel like I've always had, you know, not that much interest in politics and just
You've been
taking
very comfortable.
Welcome
to the Western
very
world.
Sort of shallow.
That's what
so
happens
I'm a
here.
bit embarrassed to admit that, but you
Well,
know,
what?
I'm not
Don't
a
be.
huge political head.
The majority of people will
But,
probably be
But I
sitting with you.
like to go for a personality that, you know, I quite like, but then I get a
Inspirational?
bit, but then I get a bit disillusioned, really. But I
happened
still
recently,
vote.
hasn't it?
I always, yeah.
very
Yes.
recently.
I always vote, so that's the most important thing. So sorry, I'm not
good girl.
really handballing any great ideas here, am I really?
No,
To
you're
Jeremy?
real. That's the important thing. You're real. Sincere. All right.
Okay, Jeremy, I have two 18-year-olds, as I said in the last letter, and I think your son is pretty cool to be asking you what he should be considering when
considered,
deciding
isn't he?
to vote.
He's
because
asking his parents.
I haven't actually heard that from my twins.
Do they ask
or
you for
my-
views on these sorts of things, though?
I don't. Yeah, sometimes they probably. I don't really talk about. We talk about politics in general, but they haven't actually asked me who do I vote for now. I know that the 20-year-old, it's his first election, he's voting, and he's actually gone on Vote Compass, I think. So one of the things that I would say is I wax and wane. I've never just voted for one party.
What values do you vote for,
Well,
though?
I look at the actual member that is representing me.
You look at the personality.
I do, because we don't have
And
a
his
presidential system, or her values, actually. I look at what she or he can do for my community, what's important to me, and then I also look at what their morals are, and then I look at the party as well. So I would suggest that your son goes on profiles, goes and talks to your local members and the people that are in your seat as a starter, and also look at Vote Compass, because that might give you more of a generalist view about where you're going.
I always go for humanity first, someone who actually espouses an appreciation of life overall, all life.
Yeah.
Not just human life.
Well, I think sometimes I find, well, obviously I'm not particularly right wing. I find some of the conversations that we see in the press in these election times is just so disgusting. Some of the things that's written, and in the social media posts, and remembering that 18-year-olds find their information from Facebook feeds and from Facebook news. So I think it's important to take them out of that quick, fix, and actually say, let's go back to the person and who we are looking at, because it's all this. I know everything.
The other thing I like is a sense of humanity.
Yeah, I agree.
Have an understanding of human dignity. Every single person, no matter whether they're the poor bloke in the gutter or the bloke who's up there. We're all equal.
Yes, I agree.
And unless they have an understanding of that, I don't gravitate towards them. Jono?
Yes, Jeremy. Well, I won't lie to you. I am completely biased. I believe there is one party to govern the nation, and that's the party that looks after jobs and health. And let me just tell you two quick stories that I've heard on the campaign. I've heard on the campaign trail. I was door knocking, and a 60-year-old said to me that all his life he's voted Liberal. However, this election, he'll be voting Labor. And when I asked him why, he said that he was off work with work compo, he's got a limited income, he's got to have a lot of scans done on his shoulder and a lot of blood tests done. And now if Malcolm Turnbull and the Liberals get re-elected, he'll then have to pay for those blood tests and for those scans, and he simply cannot afford that, and that's why he's turning to Labor. Similarly, jobs is another one. I had a person tell me they were given a commitment and a promise that they wouldn't lose their job. On the day the state budget was handed down by the Liberal government, they called 28 people into the offices at PTA.
Got a free run, hasn't it?
And they announced their redundancies when they said they were safe. So quite clearly, you've got to make up your mind which best suits the changing landscape we've got, and certainly I would endeavour to go on Vote Compass, and then you get a better understanding of where your morals and ethics lie with which party best represents you.
We've got to go, but do you like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies? We're not going to run the film clip, we've run over time, but do you like this one?
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
You do?
I think so. Yeah. I think
I've got this conversation coming out to Jeremy of Beaumont in South Australia, a pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Treves. We've got to go. Good luck on the campaign trail, sir.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Yes.
When are you going to run?
Yeah, exactly. I thought he was running.
Well, he's the mayor.
Keep a lookout.
He's the mayor of Bassendean. People look out. When are you running?
Oh, never.
You're running away.
Never.
You're running in the opposite direction.
Never going to be.
I'd vote for you, Lou.
Oh, thanks.
As long as you
Gav.
come on the show and sing us a song.
All right.
Next time you're on, you have to
problem.
sing for us.
Wow, all right.
All right? You do
All
a
right,
duet
something
with Bid.
appropriate.
I'm running late.
Yeah, we could
I'm running late.
He's running late. So are we.
You
We've got to go.
flowers.
Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew. And thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everybody. Terrific show tonight. Thanks for having us. Good night. Bye.
So where did
Righto.